jumping on when I have a chance here because that's just how things go. So anyway, I'll be in Taiwan next week. So there's your OSINT failure for me. I'll be out there working with a lot of people from Zentera and some folks from the Taiwanese government and Taiwanese banks about zero trust. So if you're in Taiwan, say hi. Uh, yeah. Anyway, let's get moving because there's lots of cybersecurity stuff to cover here, which is more valuable than my travel. It's going to be a long trip though, and I'm turning around. Like I fly out on a Saturday and come back on a Thursday, so I'll be brain dead. But what are you going to do? All right, cool. So active malware campaigns. This one was interesting from the Hacker News. NetSport Rat, which is a remote access Trojan. Um, Looks like distributed NetSport Rat comes from ClickFix. Is where it's being used fake CAPTCHA and then go forward from there. Lots of screenshots. Easy to block, honestly. Links ransomware. Major attacks of links in Q1. And there's my dogs barking because they always bark when I'm on a call or whatever. So they've stolen. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much through this. I'll just put the link in here. Y'all can do your own research. But there's async rat. Most of these are remote SX Trojans. Most of them would require people to be kind of clicking on things. Invisible ferret, silent threat, lurking, and fake job offers. I've had some of those recently, so it's not hard to pick those up. Actually, a matter of fact, this morning I got a notification from DocuSign, I think it was, that I had been terminated from a job that I didn't have and was offered stock options on the way out, which would be super cool, but that's not typically how it works. But it was well put together. I could see where someone would have clicked on it. So yeah, don't be that person. I'm not going to read a report that is behind a paywall. So AP fired cybersecurity chief for Veterans Affairs site warns that the health and financial data is at risk. And on this one, I just want to start politely by saying, go to hell, dude, because none of our data was really that valuable to y'all before. Now it's a problem because you lost your job. Like, it's just not a good look. And all the Doge stuff that's going on, I would agree with a lot of people who think that it's going on very haphazard and they're just kind of cutting where, like it's just aim, or excuse me, it's just shoot, aim. I think we should be doing more, ready, aim, shoot. But there's a lot of stuff. Like from my own personal experience, I've seriously seen people that have their whole job was to sit and click approve in a DTS system, which is our defense travel system. I've seen people that have sucked up oxygen for up to the longest one I ever saw was like 7 years. And you ask them what they did, as long as they were there in the morning at 8 and they left at 5, didn't matter. I really don't think they did anything, but they got their government paycheck and they got their retirement. There's folks that need cutting. There's lots of things that need cutting. The Veterans Affairs could definitely use some cleaning up here. So yeah, totally worth paying attention to. Let me read a little bit of this. Sensitive financial and health data belonging to millions of veterans and stored on benefits website is at risk of being stolen or otherwise compromised. It already is, according to a federal employee tasked with cybersecurity who was fired as part of a massive government-wide cuts. The warning comes from Jonathan Kamens, who led cybersecurity affairs at VA.gov, an online portal for Department of Veterans Affairs benefits and services used by veterans. His quote says, given how the government has been functioning for the last month, I don't think the people at VA are going to replace me. They probably shouldn't. He was hired over a year ago by the U.S. Digital Services. Employees' duties have been integrated into the president's Elon Musk. So there's the Musk stuff, whatever. VA has access to a huge number of databases within the VA in order to provide all those benefits and services to veterans. Okay, so let me give you an honest point here on Veterans Affairs and health. I am a disabled veteran. I am 100% disabled according to the VA. I filed for veterans health care through the CHAMP system in April. It is now March, and I have yet to receive a notification, approval, anything. And like I said, I'm a retired veteran that did my service. I am 100% disabled according to the VA stuff, and I can't get my benefits. It's taken that long, and I still haven't gotten an email saying we're working on it, we're processing it, whatever else. So anytime that you think that the government or the Veterans Affairs system is well put together and is taking care of veterans, just know that that's how things work. Like I said, I filed all the paperwork, followed the entire process way back in April. And here it is March. And I have nothing, zero notification, zero anything from them. So the VA can politely choke on a bag of dicks because this is comical. Yeah. Whatever, Doge the shit out of the VA if you're asking me. I'm a veteran. Please make it effective. Please make it better. If that means people got to go, they got to go, then go. If that means systems need to be cut and changed, then cut and change them. There's people that deserve their benefits and stuff like that. And I would argue that veterans are definitely one of those that do. So fix this system. But anyone that thinks that the government is well put together and orchestrated and takes care of stuff the way that you would expect, no. Veterans can't get health care. Veterans can't get housing. And they've got our socials from the day that we joined the military. Like, this is not rocket surgery. So yeah, this guy can bite it for all I care. Let's see. More on CISO. Cybersecurity news. Exposed GitHub repos. Have I been pwned? Thousands of exposed GitHub repositories now private, can still be accessed through Copilot. Super great. This is in TechCrunch. Security researchers, Israeli cybersecurity company Lasso found that Microsoft Copilot retains access to thousands of once public GitHub repositories, even after they've been set to private. I would say that that's a problem. Using Bing's cache, or I don't know who uses Bing anymore, Lasso identified 20,000 affected repositories. So go check this, folks. Ghostwriter campaign targets Ukrainian government and opposition activists in Belarus. Okay, I'm not going to go through that, but anyway. Bybit declares war on North Korea's Lazarus crime ring to regain the 1.5 billion stolen from wallet. Good luck. It's North Korea. You've got a better chance of getting blood from a stone. Cryptocurrency exchange Bybit launched a 140 million bounty program to recover 1.5 billion Ethereum stolen by North Korea's Lazarus Group. The heist executed via a compromised safe wallet developer machine manipulated smart contract logic to divert funds. Bybit's initiative, including a new hack bounty platform, aims to unite the security community in combating state-sponsored crypto theft. Good luck. Yeah. Have I been pwned adds 244 million passwords stolen by info stealers. Go put your stuff in there and see it. Mine's in there. I'm a zero trust guy. Mine's in there. It is what it is. Have I been pwned has added 244 million stolen passwords and 284 million compromised email accounts to its databases, sourced from 1.5 terabytes of info stealer. You know what? Just because this is worth doing, I'm going to do this live on the air, and just to show folks like this is the reality of this space. Cool. Have I been pwned? Let's see if my stuff's in here. Chase at, I'll enter my usual email address. Let's check and make sure that I'm, not a robot or whatever. Is it going to give me back my response? Let's see. Let me do that again since it's being stupid. Because we have to do the things now. Is it pwned? Breaches you were pwned in. There we go. MongoDB, MyHeritage, Under Armour, DataCamp, Covey, a bunch of these things I've never even used. Park Mobile, MGM Resorts. I stayed in MGM. Yep. So there we go. So yeah, there we go. There's my stuff. It's out there just like yours. Now they have a link to 1Password in here. Yeah. My data was found in 12 breaches and found in no paste. Okay, so that's cool. But then they have, start using this thing. So I'm trying to sell that. But go put your email in here and just check. I would be shocked if it wasn't there. CISA taps Karen Evans as Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity. This lady actually has the bona fides and background and is someone that I think is going to be a good person for the job. So don't say that I'm just all full of hate here. CISA confirmed that Karen Evans was named Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity under DHS. She first joined CISA in January as a senior advisor. She can be responsible for leading the agency's efforts. Cool. Starting in 2018, she was the Assistant Secretary for Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response at Department of Energy. She was named CIO at DHS. And she's also been an MD Managing Director for Cyber Readiness Institute. So cool. It seems like she knows her stuff. She's coming from a good place, and she's someone that could, actually be useful in here. So, uh, let's see. More stuff on Doge and Trump and whatever else goes on there, but I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, there's a company called Whalebone that's out now. Apparently, they just got $13 million in funding. Okay, cool. Whalebone. Which bone? Mhm. Farm and Food Cybersecurity Act reintroduced to protect food supply chain from cyber threats. Okay. U.S. lawmakers from the Senate and House of Representatives have reintroduced the farm and food cybersecurity legislation that focuses on protecting America's food supply by identifying cybersecurity vulnerabilities in the agricultural sector and improving protective measures of government and private entities against cyber threats. The Farm and Food Cybersecurity Act, which I'm going to go look that up because this is new to me and I had not seen this. I want to read the legislation. Let's go see, because this is what Google's good for. Okay, so here's that, and we'll get into that in just a second. It's supported by the Chamber of Commerce and a bunch of other things. Legislation was introduced by Brad Finstad from Minnesota, Jill Takuda, Hawaii, Don Bacon for Nebraska, Sharice Davids for Kansas, Tom Cotton, Lisa Slotkin, and there's other legislation going along with that. Initially, it was introduced in 2024, January, so about a year ago. Provisions, I think my math is right. Provisions of this legislation were included in the House Agriculture Committee Farm Bill. Okay, so they stuck it in another bill, which happens all the time. The legislation directs the Secretary of Agriculture to conduct a study every 2 years on cybersecurity threats within the agricultural and food sectors. Great, we're studying stuff. It also requires the Secretary of Agriculture, in coordination with the Secretaries of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services, as well as DNI, to conduct annual cross-sector crisis simulation exercises for food-related cyber emergencies or disruptions. Okay. Yeah, food security is national security, but we're just doing studies and stuff. Let's look at the actual legislation just a bit here. PDF. All right, so there's the PDF. It's 7 pages, so not super long. 118th Congress, second session, to direct the Secretary of Agriculture to periodically assess cybersecurity threats to and vulnerabilities in the agricultural and food critical infrastructure sector, and to provide recommendations to enhance their security and resilience. To require the Secretary of Agriculture to conduct an annual cross-sector simulation exercise relating to food-related emergencies. Right. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America. This act is called the Farm and Food Cybersecurity Act of 2024. In this act, defines the terms, measurements, incidents, do a study. Great. So here's the study. The Secretary, in coordination with the CISA, shall conduct a study every 2 years on the cybersecurity threats to insurgent vulnerabilities in the agricultural and food infrastructure sector, including the nature and extent of cyber attacks, the potential impacts, the current capability and readiness of the federal government, the existing policy standard guidelines, the gaps, any recommendations. Not later than 1 year after the enactment of this act, and every 2 years thereafter, they will put a report in to all these people. They'll do an exercise. Wow. So the Secretary, in coordination with DHS, whatever, shall conduct over a 5-year period an annual cross-sector crisis. Okay, so let's do a little mathing here, right? So we're going to put this in place. It's going to get voted in, and then it's going to be a thing. And then we're going to say every 2 years, which, oh, by the way, there's an election cycle every 2 years, and there's a presidential cycle every 4. So all that's going to keep changing. And we're going to say over 5 years, we need to simulate what would happen to the space that we're trying to secure. Does anyone think that cybersecurity or technology or IT or robotics or agricultural with technology embedded in it changes at its pace of every 5 years or even 2? This is totally just, I don't know, posturing or a waste of paper. Let's go just look at some agricultural stuff and see what we can find with a really simple query. Like, I'm just going to go look at, I'm literally going to type in one word into Shodan and just see what I can find out there. Oh, let's go look in the United States for stuff that's talking to the internet with literally the word agricultural on it. Is there any fun ports here? Because that's where you find the really interesting stuff. Oh, weird ports. Cool. Let's go find the weirdest port that I could possibly find here. I'm not going to say it because I know what this will do. Yep. Application database software. And there's the IP and other stuff to it. Montgomery, Alabama. Right. Yep. So that's how long it takes. And we're going to do this over every 2 years or 5 years or whatever else. I was just on Capitol Hill this week, actually, on Tuesday, talking with people from different, can't say their names, but different groups. And man, it ain't looking good for the home team, y'all. So write your congressman, write your people, and tell them that this ain't the right way to do stuff. Employment screening provider data breach affects 3.3 million people. The attack is one on several in recent years. So a data breach at DISA, D-I-S-A Global Solutions Inc., a third-party employment screening provider, affected more than 3.3 million people. Company said the company, which provides drug and alcohol testing and background checks, so that's PII and HIPAA data, said it discovered on April 22nd of 2024 that it was the victim of a cyber attack. Why is it just now showing up? That gave an unauthorized third-party access to individuals' personal information from 2024 February to 2024 April at least. DISA said that while its forensics investigation could not definitively conclude the specific information procured, the personal information access could have had your typical stuff, right? Names, socials, driver's license, other stuff that's already been pwned 45 times over. Individuals affected by the breach were notified Friday, according to the letter filed with the Maine Attorney General's office. DISA said is unaware of any attempt or actual misuse of the information involved in this incident. I wonder if this company's publicly traded. Let's go see, because this might be a buy the breach time. Go make some of that cash. Are they publicly traded? Let's see. Are they publicly traded? Oh, they're private. So sorry, y'all. We can't get any of that sweet cheddar. Seems like it took them a long time to notify people. This report was as of today. Why is this just coming out from last year? Somebody should be in trouble here. Just saying. So if you've had your stuff done through DISA Global Solutions, you've been hit. Florida Bar, a cybersecurity webinar guides Florida lawyers on protecting firms before a data breach. What a fucking concept. Here's what they say. This is a bunch of lawyers. Not paying attention to cybersecurity can put lawyers at risk of violating their ethical responsibilities and running afoul of state, federal, and international laws. Doesn't mention that it's kind of the wrong thing to do. Let's see. Even more concerning for Florida lawyers is an ABA cybersecurity report found 29% of law firms experienced some form of security breach in 2023. Repositories of highly sensitive data from a corporation's intellectual property to a client's HIPAA-protected hospital records, law firms are prime targets. Yeah. They did a webinar called, I'm giving you the actual title here, Cybersecurity, Protecting Your Law Firm Before a Breach Happens. I guess that's good. Okay, so I guess that's proactive. Cool, whatever. Cybersecurity M&A roundup, and this is the business side of things. SolarWinds, remember them? The guys that were totally fucking crushed for their stuff. Let's go see what SolarWinds stock has done over the last, I don't know, X number of years. SolarWinds stock, I want to go back, I don't know, let's go back 5 years. There it is. You can see when the breach occurred. And it hit the low of about $7 a share. And now it's up to nearly 19. So there you go. Like, again, proving my point. If you had bought SolarWinds post breach, by the breach, it would have dropped to about $7 a share. Put $10,000 in it. I'm just throwing round numbers out there. Let it ride. And right now it's at 19. You'd have made a pretty nice chunk of change. Guaranteed. Like, that's how this is going to work. Let me read a little bit more of this. Let's see. Okay, SolarWinds goes private in $4.4 billion deal. Again, breaches are good for business. It doesn't fucking matter. Sophos finalizes 859 million SecureWorks acquisition. Right, Sophos bought them. Nozomi Networks merges with Zona Systems to strengthen OT. Harness merges with Traceable. That's cool. Drata acquires SafeBase. Okay, bought them for $250 million. ThreatX enhances A10s. Oh, so A10 Networks, a provider of application security delivery, acquired ThreatX. CyberArk buys Zilla for $175 million. Well, Deepwatch expands cloud security. Menlo acquires Votiro to improve file-based protection. So look at all the movement going on in the space. Like the economy might be going sideways. Eggs are, I don't know, if you have a chicken, it's worth its weight in gold now, which I got a bunch of chickens around the backyard. So I'm living the dream with all these eggs. I might as well retire on it. And if you do hear a little dog going crazy, we have a puppy in the house and she's not happy. Anyway, and here we are. So like Buy the Breach is a living, breathing methodology. I'm actually working with a friend of mine on building out a site for all this so that folks can track it and see what's going on and understand how this works. And you can make money off of it because I think that we should, especially if all the rich people are. So stand by for that. But it's proven, like it is, statistically speaking, numerically speaking, it's better than a hedge fund. It's better than your investment portfolio was doing anywhere else. If you buy the breach after it happens and just wait for it to drop a bit, it will come back and you will make money on the far end. I have not found a single case looking over 10 years worth of research that it didn't take place. So there you go. It's Friday, and like I said, I'm going to be traveling a bunch this weekend, so I don't want to ramble on anymore. I've tried to cover some topics here. This Farm Act is fucking comical, but anyway. I'll put a link in here for the Forescout demo. Guess what? They believe so much in their tech, they'll let you demo their software on your own, and that you won't have to deal with salespeople and all the hassle that goes along with it. They'll just let you try out their software, so that's pretty cool. And I'm not getting a royalty off of that, so just try it. I did. I thought it was a pretty slick system. It's all through DemoForce. Anyway, other than that, new books coming out soon. I'll be at RSA. We're raising money for charity again this year. I'm putting like a whole bunch of effort and work into my superhero thing because I love embarrassing the shit out of myself every year if it helps raise money for veterans, whatever. My career's managed to make it another year, so I guess I didn't totally screw it up. And other than that, stay smart, stay safe, stay secure. I'll catch you on the next one. If anyone's interested, since I am traveling internationally, I'm going to be using the system called Hypori, Hypori, on my travels. And it's a pretty slick system for letting me use my mobile device in potentially risky countries without my data ever leaving the US, which is what they say. I'm going to try it out. I'll let you know. Y'all, do it, check it out for yourselves. But I think it's an interesting approach. And there are a bunch of Army guys that are running it and SOCOM people and whatever. So that's kind of cool. As always, if I can help, please reach out to me. Buy the breach, y'all. Go make that money. God bless. I'll catch you on the next one.